Awesome. We'll go ahead and get started. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Alertus Power Lunch, Inheriting Your Alertus Solution, Best Practices for Reviewing, Updating, and Optimizing Your Alertus System. My name is Sarah Gillum, and I'm a training specialist here at Alertus. We're also joined by Brooke Petrozelli, another training specialist who will be leading the conversation. This session will equip you with the knowledge and skills to effectively understand, troubleshoot, and streamline your Alertus systems configuration, especially if you are not part of the initial implementation process. We'll learn how to analyze reports and fine-tune device settings, alert services, groups, and preset alerts for peak performance. We'll also explore the Alertus System Continuity Booklet, which is a tool designed to assist organizations in maintaining and managing their Alertus solution through effective and organized knowledge transfer. And this is an interactive session, so please feel free to ask any questions using the Q&A feature or the chat. And please also be aware that this session is being recorded for training purposes. But without further ado, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Brooke to get started.
Great. Thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you for everyone joining today. I am going to start sharing my screen. All right, so hopefully you see my Alertus console. And you are probably here because you inherited the system and you're like, what do I do with this now? How do I navigate this? There's a lot here. How do I make sure that the things that are set up are the way that they should be set up? And how do I manage this system? So once you do have access to log in, hopefully you are a full administrator. So you will have all of the credentials to do everything that I'm going to be covering today. But when you log in, you're going to be greeted with the Alertus console homepage, which you can manage up here if you do want to see certain settings. You can also see your role up here at the top as well. So you can see that I have an admin role here, and you can double check on that. As well as if you have any system errors in your account here, you can check on this as well. If you're seeing things that you don't understand, our tech support team is here to help, and I will show you where to find that information as we go through. But most of the time when you come in here, you're going to log into the console and come to this left-hand navigation bar. There are the 4 different ways to activate from the console here, which there are many videos that we've had and shared in previous power lunches that can go through how to do those. But first we need to understand like what you have and how your system is being utilized currently. So we're going to start with reports. So the first report that we're going to see is alert history. Alert history is going to show you the 40 most recent alerts sent by the system. So you can see the last date and time that something happened. You can see how frequently things are going off. You can take a look and see how these messages are being sent. So this one was a silent command from the server. This one was using a custom event trigger. Then this one was from a desktop. So you can see all of these different ways that they're being sent, as well as what types of devices are being targeted over here. If you hover on top of them, you'll see. And then there are some reports attached to each alert that will give you the device activations, device acknowledgements, and user recipients. So if you did want to come in here and see, okay, this is actually activating one desktop. It is trying to target 3 other alert beacons, but they are offline. And so you can take a quick look at like what your most recent alerts have done. If you don't want to go into the device activation specifically on like what is happening there, or if your alerts are many months or years old, you haven't sent an alert in a while, a place that you can go to get the current updated device status of your devices at this moment is the device status report. So this one will show you the last time your server was restarted up here, and will also show you, like I said, a live snapshot of your devices. So as of right now, 2 of our desktops are online. There are 4 devices that are inactive, which means they have checked in since the May 19th, since it last restarted, but you can see that they haven't checked in a few days. They will turn inactive after they haven't checked in after 3 minutes. So these are going to be yellow. And then we have some devices that are offline as well. This could mean that they don't have any connectivity. It could mean that they're not configured properly, or it could also mean that that hasn't checked in since the last restart up here on the 19th. So as you're going through this information, these are what the different statuses mean. There's also a whole bunch more information as you scroll over. So you can see that the CCU last checked in on the 29th of April. So like as you go over, you can see just all of this information about your different devices, as well as adding and removing columns to show information that you need to see. So this is a really good spot to keep an eye or to check on what is actually online in your system and what is in your system that could potentially be used, even if it is offline, and how to troubleshoot that. We'll get into in a minute. So the next report we're going to pop into is group memberships. This also will give you a good snapshot of what types of groups have been created to target different devices when you want to send out alerts. So groups are here for that targeted alerting. You don't have to activate all of your alert beacons at once or all of your desktops at once. You can group them individually or by location or by role. So you can see that there are some for specific buildings or specific test groups or specific security team. So these are all the groups that you have in your system. If you click on them, you can open and see what devices are in those groups and how many there are as well. So you can see that total number here and then what is in there. So this is a helpful spot to go to just get a quick snapshot of those groups. If you do need to edit them, we'll get to that in a minute, but this will give you that snapshot, as well as a report up here at the top, view alert devices not assigned to any groups. You can come here and say, okay, there are 4 devices that aren't in a group. What is this? Where is this? How do I figure this out? And then you can kind of troubleshoot if you need to put these in groups or not. Most of our organizations utilize groups to do that targeting, but potentially you could also be utilizing locations, which is actually using coordinates. So if you've included or someone in your previous history of using Alertus in your organization included other coordinates, you can come here and see what is attached to these different coordinates, as well as that same report that will show you what doesn't have coordinates. And once again, this is how you can sort and target devices, but with using either groups or location memberships. So these are handy reports as well as system activity, which will give you a snapshot into what's happening in your console. So who's been logging in, if there's been any errors, if there's been any activations. So if you just want to see activations, you can do and sort by that. Or if you want to see logins, you can sort by that. And just keep an eye on what is actually happening and what is going on in your console to see who is having access, who is logging in, and if there are any issues that you're seeing in the system with any warnings or errors. So those are the reports that I would keep an eye on for sure. And then we're going to get into actually configuring the system and getting a deeper dive into what those devices and preset alerts and all of that are set up to do. So underneath configure system, there are a ton of things. We are not going to go into each of these, but we will spend some time going into the most important ones. And then once again, I'll show you where you can find additional resources. But the first one we're going to pop to is alert devices. So this is where you can come and you can sort by different types. So if I just want to see my alert beacons or my desktops, or if I want to see all of them, I can do so here. You can get that quick snapshot of what's online or offline, as well as the device ID and name. And then you are also able to edit each of these devices. So especially for alert beacons, it is best practice to have the name be where that alert beacon lives. So this one is the white alert beacon on our training wall, but maybe you have one called Building 1 Auditorium or Front Lobby or things like that. If you don't have those labeled, I recommend coming in and editing the name of it so you do have that location there for you. You can also see when it was configured and the last time it has checked in or any other check-in information as well as what groups it's part of. And then there are advanced settings as well. You can see that there are panic buttons plugged into this alert beacon. You can, if you have an LED marquee, you would be able to see that. So there are different things that you can come into for each individual device and keep an eye on. So that is how you can explore some of your alert devices. The next thing that we're going to pop to is alert services. So alert services are how you actually trigger the devices to go off in the console when you send out an activation. So in order for the alert beacon to go off, you need to have this alert service pulled in to one of these activations. Same for Alert Aware, same for Alertus Desktop, etc. I have a bunch of Alertus desktops, so we're definitely going to take a look. If I look into each of these alert services, you'll see that it is pulling in a specific desktop profile. So I'm going to make sure we go into desktop to take a look at what this profile actually means. And then in addition, I also have these text-to-speech speakers and other types of devices. The alert services allow you to set the behavior. So these AlertAware ones are going to send specifically to the building 2 alert or building 1 alert. These desktops will pull in that specific desktop profile. And then with text-to-speech speakers, if you go in here, you will see the settings here. So this text-to-speech is the default one. So it's going to have a chime that goes before, but if I want to change that, I can come here and edit. I will see it's using text-to-speech, and that's going to be repeated 3 times. And then there'll be another chime as well for the post wave. So this will go 3 times, and this will go once. It's going to go at a fast rate of speech, and there is an LED marquee attached, I can see, but if I want to change things here, everything can be edited, or you can create new alert services if you want to start from scratch. So you can just come to add alert service, and then you can type in, if you find the text to speech, boop, 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 there it is, text to speech, and then you can pull that in and create the settings yourself. So all these alert services are going to be very important once we get into building out those preset alerts, but you can see what has been set up for you here. So then going into desktops, like I said, if you wanted to go into here to see what this one looks like, this is the default desktop profile. Those live under desktop. So I'd come here and I would scroll down to desktop profiles. And then if I go in, I'm able to see what these look like. So if I'm pulling in that desktop default one, this is going to be what pops up on my screen. If I'm pulling in that pop-up one with text-to-speech, this is what it's going to look like when it pops up on my screen. I can change the settings, I can change the audio, I can change the variables, and I can also like create new ones for if I want new desktop profiles here. But this is where you can actually figure out what that looks like when you are going to send an alert, if you are utilizing desktops. So the next one we're going to hop to is groups. So groups is what we saw in that group memberships report, but here's where we can actually edit them. So if we go into one of these groups, we'll go into my building 1 group, we can see that there is a name, that there is a description, and then in the next tab are the devices. So here are the devices that are not in the group. These are the ones that are in the group. If I did want to manually add anything over, I could do that, or also remove from the groups as well. And as you can see, there are some devices that are grouped in here using device assignment rules. So we're going to get to that in a second, but what that is going to automatically put devices in groups based off of certain criteria. So you can manually edit groups, or you can add them via these rules. If you are adding contacts for any specific, like Wi-Fi panic buttons or desktops, you can do so here. And then there are the advanced settings as well. So if you wanted to map your Active Directory group or enable your network audio, then you can do so here. This mobile configuration is defunct because we are now using AlertAware, so it is the top and bottom ones that you would be utilizing here if needed. But now getting into the devices that are added via device assignment rules, we're going to go back up to device assignment rules here, and you'll see that I have specific ones that are using search fields with names. So for my building 1 group, I have a rule that is saying if any computer checks in that has a regular rule expression that begins with this name, it will automatically be added to my building one group. So I'm able to set that up. So any computer that checks in under my name, regardless of IP address or anything like that, will automatically be added to that group. You also can use other conventions. So if, for example, you wanted to do one for North Campus, you want to add it to the North Campus group. And instead of using names, you can use BSSIDs, check-in variables, and also IP addresses. So you can see if there are any IP address ranges where you can start and add and also add different IP ranges that will then sort your devices. If they check in under these IP ranges, they'll automatically be added to that group. So this is a really handy space to just see how your groups are built. And if you did ever want to edit anything here, then you can come in here and make sure that your IP ranges are up to date and make sure that everything is being grouped properly. Excuse me. So the next thing that we're going to hop to is preset alerts. So preset alerts are going to be the alerts that you can easily select and have been sent out. So these preset alerts, if I come here, they are the ones that if I went to preset activation and sent out, I could either select from my menu or pull in from my quick access, my drop down up here. And then if I select it, everything is already there. So I can see that it's been built out with the message, the duration, the priority, the devices it's targeting, the group it's going to, the integrations, the devices. And if it's a desktop, I can also preview it and see what it would look like. So all of this is already built, and the place that it's built is here under preset alerts. So with preset alerts, you will be able to see what has already been built for your organization. You can come in here and see if things are favorited or if things are just without favorites, that's okay too. And you can scroll and see what has been built. You'll also see that some of my preset alerts have different colors, and that's called a preset type. So if I scroll down here to preset types, that's just creating these different icons here to have the visual difference when I'm sending out alerts. So I'm going to go into one of my alerts to show you what it looks like inside. It has a name, it has a preset type, which once again just changes the color of the icon. And then it has all of the parts of the preset message built out. So it has the language that's being sent. You can edit this if you want to. It has the duration. It has the priority. So for all of our emergencies, we want to make sure they're at the highest and first priority. And for any of our tests or drills, we want to lower that priority. In case there is a real emergency at the same time, the higher priority one will win out. Then we get into our alert services. So that's where the alert services that we reviewed came in. We have the text-to-speech default behavior with the 3 repeats. We have targeting alertware building 1. We have the desktop targeting with the default red with text-to-speech profile. And then we also have the alert beacon. So with the alert beacon, the way that you do the settings are different. So you would click this plus button and you would see that for this specifically, my alert beacon is set to be silent with a blink and to activate the LED marquee. But if I wanted to have any volume, I could say for the first 10 seconds, let's go to medium volume with this tone and this blink. And then after that 10 seconds, we'll go to low volume. And I can change the tones as well. But you can see exactly how the alert beacon is behaving in each of the presets here. Then lastly, we have the groups. So if I got rid of this group, you would have other options, but you can see if it's selected all, if you've pulled in a specific group or multiple groups, or if you are pulling in individual units. And the units are the actual devices themselves. So you can see what has been built, if this is still how you want to target things, and just check and make sure that all the presets that you have are up to date and are looking the way that you want them to look. The last thing we're gonna actually hop back up to custom event triggers here. This is gonna be where you can see, excuse me, if you have any specific triggers that are going to automatically go off, automatically send out a preset alert, or automatically do something if a qualifying event comes in. So this is for specific panic events, panic button presses, maybe third-party integrations, weather alerts, anything like that. You could have options here. You can see that we have a fire panel, we have cap alerts from NOAA, we have panic buttons, we have RSS feeds. So there's a whole bunch of options here that potentially have been set up for you in the past. So you can take a look at these NOAA cap alerts and say, okay, so for a tornado watch, we do have something coming in that is checking to see if an event comes in with this specific criteria. And then if it does, it will send out this preset alert. Excuse me, I have a tickle. All right. So we have this alert that is coming into the system, and then it will send out this preset alert. So you can just take a look and see if you do have any custom event triggers here that have been set up, and then what those custom event triggers will do. In addition, there's also an event dashboard that will show you those events coming in. So you can see that there are panic button presses. You can see that there are cap alerts. You can sort by different events. So maybe I just want to see those cap weather alerts. You can see what's coming into the system. And then you can also see what the system is doing with that. So this is executing a specific custom event trigger, number 29. If I open that up, we'll see that it's my catch-all and that it's actually just set to ignore it. But there are other events. You see here, this tornado watch one executed custom event trigger 17 and sent out an alert. So I'm able to see that 17 was the one that we took a look at with the tornado watch and sending a preset alert. And it sent out this alert right here. So this is a space to go to see if there are different events coming into your system, if you do have any specific panic buttons that are getting pressed, and then what Alertus is doing with that information. So that was a lot. There is a lot more to cover as well, but we do have a lot of handy resources for you. So if you go down to the support tab here, you will be able to contact support to get help if you are running into issues with why your devices are offline and you're not sure, or anything like that. But we also have a customer portal. So if we hop to the customer portal here, we will see that there is ability to log in. If you don't have credentials to log in, do let us or your account managers know, and we can set this up for you. Also, if you have logged in the past but forgot your password, you can reset it here and it won't affect anything in the console. These are two separate entities. And you can also see any of the upcoming webinars and power lunches that we have here. So we're right now at this one, and you can sign up for any of them here. But once you log in, you're going to be greeted with a whole bunch of support. So when you come, you can submit a tech ticket to the tech support team. You can look at different things about your account and everything like that, as well as coming up to the top and requesting a training. If you want to have a one-on-one session with us with your active support licensing and support agreement, we are able to provide that one-on-one help and can go through the through your console with you. So you can just sign up for a refresher training or a new user training and send this over, and we can help you explore what you have. We also have recordings of previous power lunches here. So you can come here and watch, okay, you have Alert Aware. What is that? Let's actually see how it's configured. Or you have, you want to look at, you have the Threat Watcher weather alerts coming in and you want to learn more about that. Or you want to learn more about your text-to-speech devices. So there's a whole bunch of resources here for you to explore that are really handy and really helpful, as well as something called our continuity document or booklet. So continuity booklet. When I pull this up, we will see that there is going to be a section here that will introduce what it is. And then there's also a space here for you to download it. So this booklet is designed to help you maintain and manage your Alertus system and help with that knowledge transfer. So you can set it up in a way that someone in the future that might inherit the system is off on a better foot than you were when you inherited this, because you don't know what's going on. But now you can outline intended behaviors and operational procedures, methods for communicating and activating and giving users access, and then also a standard operating procedure. So this will allow you to download a Word document right here. And you can see that there is a whole bunch of resources here for you for exactly how you want to set this up. And there are these fields that you can fill in around what is needed and how your system is used. So this is a really good resource for you all to utilize to help understand what you do need to know about your system and your operating procedure for those different for the different activations and how your emergency management system is in place. But this also will help any future new users with your organization. So we highly recommend utilizing this. Sarah's going to put the link in the chat as well to this general knowledge Alertus System Continuity Booklet page. And I think that's everything that I was going to cover today. But if you do have any other questions around, like maybe you want to learn more about message templates or scheduled alerts, you can come here to the customer portal and you can look up like message templates. And you'll be able to see that there are all of these guides around how to create and configure the message templates, as well as utilizing our message template builder and all these different templates here. So a lot of resources here to help you as you are navigating your Alertus system that you inherited. And of course, we're here to help as well. So with that said, I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll throw it over to Sarah if there are any specific questions or things to close out on.
Awesome. Thank you, Brooke. And I did go ahead and put the Alertus System Continuity Booklet link in the chat. So that will bring you to the customer portal, to that page that Brooke was showing where you're able to access the continuity booklet. And we do have a power lunch next week, next Friday on the 18th. That will be going through how to navigate the customer portal. So we'll have a full session to go through all of the resources and tools that are available there. So I put the link to register for that session in the chat as well. If that's something that you are interested in attending, we would definitely love to see you there. And like Brooke mentioned, we'll hang on for another minute or two to answer any questions if you all have any. I don't see any in the chat or the Q&A yet, but please feel free to share any questions that you had about anything that we did cover today.
All right, thank you all so much for your time. We'll hang on for a few more minutes.
Yes, thank you, and have a great weekend.